Hey guys, welcome to another episode in the deep playthrough of Metro Exodus Enhanced Edition. Very cool game, very good looking game. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't seem to really upload the HDR versions consistently.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! I'm just a stalker. I'm not with you. They made me. Just
I'm recording it in HDR, but sometimes YouTube only displays standard dynamic range, which is pretty annoying. Come on, Archim.
hold on!
Man, this really looks like Fallout 4, but then much better. Good work.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh my god, Artyom! Thank goodness you're okay!
Now we are not just traitors. We are honest-to-God enemy saboteurs.
Man, I saw some
We
notifications.
stopped 100 clicks from Moscow to check our Geiger counters. The thing is, they are all in the green, as if they're in a conspiracy. Still, this amazing piece of news doesn't really impress anyone that much. The guys are all confused as to what to do next. And I'm just waiting for answers. And hoping the commander, whom until recently I trusted implicitly, is going to be extremely persuasive in his reasoning.
I saw some notifications in the top right of the screen, and I just like HUDs, I despise those game companies that now more and more all require you to download their own Steam equivalent crap ransomware software, and also with like those overlays with notifications left and right. I disabled it all in the Epic Game Launcher and their nice little crappy software package, but still I see notifications popping up when I enter level. How intrusive is that? How immoral is it just for people to buy a game with their own money and then just pop your own little software on top of it to just yeah, I don't know why it are those retarded backwards marketing people who think they know everything best and can convince people to buy more and more, which only works counterproductive if you ask me. Just like TV commercials, I cannot imagine that those are actually effective. But yeah, man, I'm really going to have to do something about it, because I do not want those notifications in my game world. Anyways, second part, or at least a new chapter. I think we are still in Moscow. I think there are 4 areas in this game. You have like this desert area, you have the winter area in Moscow, you have like this forest area, and the 4th area I'm not sure about. But let's assume this is still Moscow. We are only 100 clicks from Moscow, so yeah, maybe this counts as a separate area, I'm not sure. But here we go.
Why the long face?
We are at a crossroads, so to speak, where everybody can help but wonder. What next? Where do we go from here?
Yes, more or less what I expected from you. But you got the picture. So, is your counter functioning? Have you checked it?
Yes, it's all green. Double checked it. Stepan's in the green too. We don't need masks here.
So, they were telling the truth.
Who was telling the truth? Why won't you answer? Who were those people trying to kill us? Why would they shoot at you, the Order's commander? Explain something, at least. You owe us that.
Well, I might as well drop the bomb now. The war did not end.
What do you mean, did not end?
Let me finish. Most of our cities are destroyed. The rest of the country is probably under enemy occupation. To avoid new nuclear attacks against us, Command chose the only viable course of action: to play dead. To ensure radio silence, the SHIELD system was created. A network of radio jammers covering Moscow and suburbs. So that some radio enthusiasts wouldn't bring more bombs down on our heads by whining on air. And it's one of these jammers that got disabled by the hands of those present here.
Could you not have shared that before? Say, before Artyom took that radio outside and caught all that radiation?
No! I only got briefed half year ago. Under a strict, you talk, you die policy. And then had to tell my people we were securing a weather station.
Sir, with all due respect, if we can't go back, maybe we should advance and move on?
I have an idea, but... Artyom, rather than carrying on with this silent disapproval of yours, check the airwaves. We should be out of the jamming range by now, so give it your best try. Look for transmissions from the Ark. Do you understand now why we're traitors in the eyes of Command? We shut down a jamming station, shot up the guards, destroyed a patrol train, and ran away from Moscow. Who even needs a trial when the case is so clear? There's no way back now. Which means we have to continue moving forward.
Command, what are you talking about?
The Moscow Defense Command. Have you ever heard of the Invisible Watchers?
I have, but they're just an urban legend.
Not at all. They are Command.
Are you sure they care for more than just protecting their asses? You mentioned the Ark. What's that all about?
If Artyom finds their signal, you'll figure everything out. Otherwise, there is nothing to talk about.
Do you think finding that Ark of yours is going to fix everything?
I do not. But if you have a better idea, then go ahead.
Yes, I do. We have to find a good place for people from Moscow, like Artyom always wanted.
Giving them all to the enemy? A grand idea. I say, we solve our problems before moving on to saving all Moscow. All right? How is it going, Artyom? Found it yet?
Nope.
There's a whole world out here. A world where we could live.
So far, we only know one thing for sure. Radiation levels are nominal. The air is breathable. But what about the rain?
So what? You can't even breathe in Moscow.
So, does anybody live out here? We don't know. How will they treat us? I don't know that either. What would they do if they found out there are survivors in Moscow? Again, I don't know. Keep looking, Artyom. There's got to be a signal.
But we do know we've been lied to. For 20 years, we've been lied to. We know they've been killing people.
Collateral damage is inevitable in operations of such scale and secrecy. Yes, people have died, but the bombs killed tens of millions. Yet we are alive. We stayed alive throughout those years.
Artyom almost got killed. Is he just collateral damage too?
Guess what? Yes! If you have to choose between the life of a single man, no matter how dear he is to you, and the lives of everybody else, all the dwellers of Metro, then there's nothing to think about. Are you looking for it, Artyom? Come on, do your best!
Would you say the same about me?
And about myself, too. I've spent my whole life protecting the people of Metro. Do you get it? My whole life. And I wouldn't hesitate for a second. I'm prepared to do anything to ensure Metro survives. Even though they'd shoot me on sight if I returned now. It doesn't matter. Too many lives are at stake. Too many lives have already been sacrificed to hesitate now. Too many.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to... I mean, But we have to make up our minds. How will things finish for all of us if we start out lying to each other and arguing? We need to be better.
You ask me how things will finish. Well, let me tell you. It all depends on Artyom now. If he finds the frequency, if they are alive. Found it yet, Artyom? Please, try. It must be there.
You guys continue babbling. Ah, finally, it's over.
Nothing yet, Artyom.
Alright.
The signal has got to
Here
be
we go.
there.
I just wanted to hear the backstory.
More.
Alright, what the hell is this? Diary, crew, new worlds, creatures, equipment.
Are you
Weapons.
looking for it, Artyom? Come on, do your best.
I remember this from the first time around. I really couldn't find a way to activate it. There is a way, but it's pretty
Found it
obscure.
yet, Artyom? Please, try. It must be there.
I'm now pressing the interact button and nothing happens, which is so weird.
Keep looking, Artyom. There's got to be a signal.
I really had to look it up on the internet. What it was. Ah, I think it was the D-pad, indeed.
Are you looking for it, Artyom? Come on, do your best.
Really awkward. Yes, it's D-pad to the right.
Found it yet, Artyom? Please, try. It must be there. Keep looking, Artyom. There's got to be a signal.
Attention! This is the Special Restoration Committee speaking from the Ark Project base. Everyone who can hear me.
Found it yet,
everyone
Artyom?
still loyal to the
Please,
cause.
try.
Proceed to the rally point.
Wait a moment, what was that?
Rally point location is code 1811-7.
Listen, everyone.
Area 18-5. I repeat. Proceed to the rally point. Rally point location is code 1811-7.
Where was that number supposed to...
Area 18-5.
Got it.
Only by
So
standing
it
together
is
shall we
somewhere
overcome
around
any
here.
and all
The Yamantau Mountain. So the route from here should go like this. This is our goal.
So, is this what you had in mind?
Yes, this is it. The Ark Project is a whole city underground. Enormous stores, machines, the best experts. It is the Commander General's HQ. All of the country's leaders are there. They have already started the restoration work. We will tell them that Moscow is alive. It wasn't all for nothing. Everything will change, everything. Do you get it? A new life is starting for all the survivors of the war.
By the way, are there any single women in that place?
Great reaction. So I think the moment calls for... Bring it out to me.
Bring what out, Colonel? Sir?
That thing that's been sloshing about in your canteen. Do you think I'm deaf or what?
That. Just a moment. I thought my ears were deceiving me.
I wonder whether there shouldn't be any background music.
It's not a
My sound system is a bit wacky. Here, music volume. It's just on.
short trip to the Urals. So we should make ourselves comfortable, I guess. Let's name this bucket of bolts at the very least, eh?
It's about time.
Let's go around and be done with it.
Nah, go to hell. Even
Alright, let's try. I think there's like a sound channel missing. So annoying. Let's try without this.
better. Oh, come
How
on.
about Aurora? The Roman goddess of dawn and a cruiser of, you know what?
That's better.
Not bad. I like it.
Ah, beautiful name.
Sounds okay, but a cruiser of what?
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Looks like it's decided. Let's drink
Aurora. Hey, Artyom, let's take a look at that map.
All right, we had a round. That should be enough. Yermak, full steam ahead.
Aye.
Full steam ahead.
Wow, that's some distance. I wonder how long it will take. How are you, Alyosha?
Oh, I was expecting an arrow from a Cupid, but I got a bullet from an ugly motherfucker instead.
You sure you're okay? Because I know you.
Just so you know, scars attract the ladies.
And there's definitely a lot of those up ahead.
I don't need a lot, really. It's quality that matters.
Alright, I find it a bit annoying that maybe I'm missing out on a whole audio channel.
Andrei Ivanovich, how long have you been working with
Hey, RTX! Is there any music on here?
Check it out. Ah, okay, so there is music.
Attention, attention! This is the Special Restoration Committee speaking from the ARC project base. Everyone who can hear me, everyone still loyal to the cause. Proceed to the rally point. Rally point location. 1-6, come in. 1-6 here. We just saw a group of targets with 2 vehicles moving toward your position. They'll be there in about 40. Roll out the red carpet. Copy that, 102. Will you be ready to cut them off if they retreat along the same route? The machine gun is in position already. We're going to fill a wire post and add a few claymores to that just to make sure. Copy, 102. Over and out.
Right.
You found it. Thanks, RTO. The mood improved instantly.
Alright, so there's music in the game. Just trying to figure out the controls here. Alright. Diary. When it... Well, that's quite an annoying song. When it has been years since anyone's heard anything but static and white noise on the radio, who could still believe we're not alone on this earth? My wife, my comrades from the order, my friends, people from my station. Nobody believes me. They are sure that there's nothing on the radio. Sure. That's safe for us who hid in Moscow metro. There were no survivors of the last war. We are alone on this planet and in the metro, it's common knowledge. But I did hear that call on the radio with my own ears. Yes, it was immediately drowned out by the static, but I had heard it, which means that somewhere out there, under the skies, there's still a habitable place. We're not doomed to live the rest of our lives on the ground. Still, nobody believes me. We stopped 100 clicks from Moscow to check our Geiger counter. The thing is, they are all in the green. As if they're in a conspiracy. Still, this amazing piece of news doesn't really impress anyone that much. The guys are all confused as to what to do next, and I'm just waiting for answers and hoping the commander, whom until recently I trusted implicitly, is going to be extremely persuasive in his reasoning. Alright, crew. Alright, let's turn off that radio first. God damn it! Nope. Alright, can I get out of it? Alright, like so. Also, one thing I did in the in-between episodes, before the previous episodes, I replayed the game until where I was to get all the collectibles, and I think I found them. Yes, all the Moscow collectibles. Let's read all of them that yeah, I didn't read earlier yet. So this is I think that are the first 5. And what I also found were 2 postcards, which are also collectibles. One of, I think, a pretty modern day Moscow, and another of maybe, yeah, also Moscow. So here we go. Half-torn notebook, August 11th. We've arrived, so far so good, just a couple of reds. The guys are unloading the trolley. August 12th, not enough people to cover the old roadblocks. Kolia went to get some more volunteers, but for now we'll just cover the platform in the airlock. It looks like Mikhailich isn't going to finish the repairs anytime soon. The mechanism is rusted solid. August 13th, shot a couple of watchmen. The beasts got inside unnoticed under the steps, cunning fuckers. The airlock drive is dead. Mikhailich says he can't. That's weird. Mikhailich, in the top paragraph, it's spelled AI in the middle, and here it's spelled only with an A. The airlock drive is dead. Mikhailich says he can't promise anything. We're running short on filters, time to improvise. I guess we'll just weld the gate shut with a sheet of steel and think later. August 14th, there's a stampede of watchmen up there. They haven't attacked yet, but still. Kolia brought the welding apparatus, but we can't even start the work. As soon as we make a slightest noise, they start howling up there. For now we decided on setting up some traps. Alright, that's from the start of the underground living, I guess. Artyom Chornich, patient file, born 31st of March 2009, plot type AB Rhesus Plus, or something like that, admitted on, come on, it's the 3rd time. Diagnosis, radiation sickness relapse, light form, approximate dose 1 to 1.5 giga, blah blah blah, prognosis favorable. Treatment, blood transfusion 0.5 K for 3 weeks. Kali, EO, Tidum, PO, not sure what that is, besides PO box. Bed rest. No going to the service for a year at least. Alright, Dusty Diary, July 6, 2013. So that's earlier than this one maybe. Too late, Shura went to buy food. I was going to roll the chair onto the balcony to have some fresh air when the civil defense broadcast started. Crowds outside, everyone's running somewhere. Missiles are flying, flashes. Blinded me even with the curtains down. I still see green spots everywhere. I hope Shura made it to the metro. I thought I was done for, but it looks like I still have some time. It's night and the streets are empty and silent. Just sirens blaring everywhere. And there's this green fog everywhere. And it's fluorescent. Or is it just my eyes? Phone's dead, radio too. Shura, my dear, I pray you're alright. I don't feel good, very weak. Goodbye, Shura. Yeah, this is all from the start of the, just after the war started. Shopping list. Tolik, if you find that bookstore, look for these. Radio Amateur's Guide 1970. Radio for Teenagers 79. Build your own radio 55. How to build a detector receiver 50. Radio reception, simple AM receivers. I wonder what AM and FM. Just make that a learning moment. I did check that out sometime, but I forgot. It's AM, FM. Amplitude modulation and frequency modulations. Alright, that has something to do with the radio waves. So one modulates the amplitude and the other modulates the frequency. Radio in the rural area 63, radio in the field 64. We don't need anything fancier. There are no components anyway, so we'll have to build it from pencil leads and empty tins. Right, Shura's notes. Vegetable oil 1 liter, clava from the main office, my ring. Sugar 2 kilograms. Rosa Alexandrovna, 253.18 silverware. So this is probably like a trade account. Buckwheat, 4 kilogram. 2 or 4 Margarita Semenovna, 253.23. My earrings and Kolia's coin collection. Yeah, so it's buckwheat from Margarita, 4 Shura's earrings and Kolia's coin collection. Krampotleto, Sheriosa, we made it. You can drive almost to Ramenskoye. Just stay away from the highway. It's all blocked with crap. From there you'd have to walk, of course, at least across the ring roads. This place is alive, alright. The guys they have in their army are healthy as bulls. They're taking us to a filtration camp, but I don't think they'll keep us there long. A couple of days tops, then they'll find some work for us. I already heard guards talking of being short on hands. I say you guys drop everything and come over here. I'll get everything ready. I'll send this letter as soon as I can, Dad. We already read that one. This one we read as well in the previous episodes. This one as well. Official letter. Alright, this is a new one, I guess. Commander Colonel, I have confirmed the emergency remittance of 6,000 military grade 7.62 rounds in 200 round belts as per the requisition form 76435 you submitted, but I must remind you of the imminent consequences should this transaction not result in a resounding success. Your operations, although not devoid of certain flair and thus tending to be reviewed favorably, have been a consistent strain on our budget. The present remittance is an overdraft allowed only due to the credit of trust your record has granted you and will be scrutinized up at the nearest board meeting. I hope you understand that this time you positively must produce a satisfactory return on this investment. Signed, Y. Voleskovsky, Treasurer. Right, crumbled notes. Yasha, they're onto something. I could only swap 2 belts. They kept too close a watch. Make sure you spend them, because they'll be taking the whole shipment back to the treasury this time. This gig was fun while it lasted. Time to split before we're put in the red list. Right, I think that's some kind of black market thing going on with ammunition belts or something. And that was it as far as the diary goes, the collectibles. Let's see if we have some more hints. Lighter we had, gas mask, we read flashlights, we read medkit, we read throwing weapons. We read light indicator. This indicator essentially shows how easy to see you are. If you're lit well enough for the enemies to notice you, the indicator on your watch lights up. Take a closer look at your watch to see it better. Yeah, we read that one as well. Alright, and let's quickly check out this booklet, the crew. So we have Anna, my Anna. I will just make it like a lore episode, this one for the rest. We still have 11 minutes. From the very beginning I thought it was not worthy of you. What was I? A nerdy guy from a backwater station, a dreamer, hearing voices in his head, an adventure seeker. And you, the most beautiful girl in the metro, the only daughter of the legendary Colonel Miller, the best sniper of the Spartan Order. But how did you put it? There were lots of hard-boiled guys around. God, how much have we been through together? We had our bright days and really dark ones. Our feelings would die out and rekindle again. I even tried to leave but couldn't go too far. You wanted a normal man, but you still accepted me as I am. You were the only one who didn't consider me mad when I spent days on the surface listening to the radio in fruitless attempts of receiving signals from the other survivors. You knew that every such sortie meant more radiation exposure for me and less chances for healthy children, should we ever have them. And you would still let me go. You didn't prohibit me from dreaming. I always felt your gaze on me when you would cove my back in combat and when I would lose my way. I was always in your field of view. I always knew that nobody could ever replace you, my personal guardian, angel of death. If this is not love, what is? Colonel Miller, Colonel Sviatoslav Konstantinovich Melnikov, the founder and the permanent commander of the Order of Sparta. Alright, so The Order and Spartans are the same thing. It's the Order of Sparta. Miller picked and trained each Spartan individually. He was the only one to come to the rescue of my home station when we were under attack by the Dark Ones. He was the only one to stand between the communists and the Nazis and prevent the conflict which could well spell the ultimate end of our civilization. Alright, so I'm not sure whether they are communists themselves. He was in between the communists and the Nazis. Right. It was Miller who accepted me to the Order and blessed our union with Anna, his only daughter. And blessed our union with Anna. Our union with Anna. His union with Anna. I became his son-in-law, but could never amass the courage to call him dad. Nothing but Colonel with a sir, of course. In the D6 defense, the Colonel lost his best fighter and his old self. Something is forever broken in him. He became... Wait, it was Miller who accepted me to the Order and blessed our union with Anna. And blessed my union with Anna. There are quite some typos in here. He became cold, completely intolerant of any dissent. Sometimes I feel he's sorry he didn't object his daughter marrying me. He would have probably preferred Hunter as his in-law, but Hunter is missing and I dragged his daughter into a maelstrom none of us might ever emerge from. Alright. Damir is probably the calmest of all crew members. Damir is also extremely reliable. He'll always be there to help. He always does the hardest part of any job, goes on the toughest missions, and then instead of taking the well-earned respect and gratitude as one would expect, he starts blushing and saying he had nothing to do with success, and it all just kind of happened that way. There's only one painful issue for Damir, and that's his name. Name given to him by his father along with half of his blood. Damir can't forgive his father for leaving, going as far as to deny being his bloodkin. Duke of Darkness, Igor Zhukov, the youngest, the bravest, and the craziest of us. Some joined the Order out of desperation, others to protect people from dangers. But Duke is just desperately in love with adventure. Whenever the Colonel asks for volunteers, Duke is always first to shout me, no matter how hard and dangerous the mission ahead may be. It's a shame we don't have any medals in the Order, otherwise Duke would be plastered with them. He keeps looking up to the more experienced fighters, competing with them for the most kills, missions and wounds. For some reason, he pays particular attention to comparing his achievements with mine. Perhaps it's because I'm closest to his age. Anna once said about him, "Quit your whining, Artyom. There are people here who dream of becoming like you." About Duke. Anna once said about him, about Duke. Right, it's a bit duplicate. Was she right? Yermak. The Aurora's permanent helmsman, Yermak knows her every detail down to the smallest bolt and feels every change in the work of any of her numerous and, truth be told, quite worn-out mechanism. With his heart, Yermak fit into her group so easily and naturally it seems he was with us since forever. And yet Anna and I met him on a Hensei base where Yermak first helped me fight my wife and then led us in the hijacking of our beloved cruiser. Still, with Yermak's background, it's a small wonder he decided to leave Moscow with us. At the time of our meeting, we had only just learned of Hansa executing everyone trying to enter or leave Moscow, but Yermak had been living with this terrible knowledge for months. Yermak, terrible knowledge from first out of fear for his daughter's life, then after she succumbed to her illness out of sheer hopelessness. But now he's free, just like the rest of us, and if we ever come back to Moscow, we'll settle our scores with Hanseatic leadership altogether. So they're really going on a mutiny. I was already wondering what their purpose would be. With the general now going to that Ark base, I was wondering, wouldn't they be shot anyways for treason, for all the reasons the general outlined, stealing the train, shooting with, I think, what are the Hansas. But I think that Ark base is not part of the Hansa military commands. And probably they want to just join up and then, yeah, take the fight back to the military commands. And, yeah, lead some kind of rebellion or some sorts. So then there will be like a two-front war. Apparently the war with the actual enemies, which, as I understand it, is still going on. But also a civil war. But that's for later on in the game. For now, we have all the crew members inside the new worlds. Exhibition. My home station, now part of Vnink Commonwealth, together with Alexeyevskaya and Rizkaya. Living there has been an uneven ride, but I still have fond memories of the time. Even though Anna, my wife, would disagree. She positively hated it there, having traded the position of the Order's best sniper for everyday chores of a regular mushroom farmer. Right, that was probably before the war, because he was a farmer. Hansa, the most powerful. Exhibition. Maybe that's also a faction. Because this is also, it's not a location but a faction. Because this is also not a location but a faction. The most powerful faction of the Metro. The Commonwealth of the stations of the Ring Line. The soldiers in Hansa's employ enjoy the best pay and equipment, and thus are highly motivated to train and perform their duties exceptionally well, making up in proficiency and skill for what they may lack in numbers. The only force to be objectively better than Hansaic troops in terms of professionalism and training is the Spartan Order, with which yours truly is honored to be a member of. As far as I was able to surmise from the Kulner's reluctant confession, Hansa is the vehicle of the invisible Watchers, the real government of Moscow, controlling all the factions from the shadows. They clearly have too much power to just live and let live, and thus engage in some shady business, including the SHIELD project, designed to keep Moscow under an impenetrable blanket of radio jamming to prevent further nuclear strikes against the capital. The project itself would be a benevolent initiative, even if quite misguided, had it not been connected with mass murder of people coming into or trying to leave Moscow, as well as anyone and everyone learning anything about it. Anna and I were captured by their patrol after we saw the Aurora entering the city's perimeter, and just for that terrible crime I was put to the gun. Anna's agony at the moment is something I will not forgive them for as long as I live. Alright, that really gives a bit more background onto who the shady government is, and Hansa, and the Order of Spartans, and the exhibition, which is just the home base of Artyom. I don't think it's a faction. I think it's just a village or something. A home station. Alright, creatures. We will do the creatures in the beginning of the next episode. Then we run through the equipment and the weapons. And then we will head out into the world. Guys, yeah, this is not very action-packed. But this is also part of a deep playthrough. Getting to grips with the backstory, and which ultimately will only deepen the experience in the world itself. When you really can place, for instance, dialogue from NPCs better in context with references they made and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's worth it to just take some time and go through it. Hope you still enjoyed it somewhat. I hope to see you in the next one. And for the meantime, do not forget, always do keep on gaming. See you later.